Welcome to the episode of Johnny Talks Football. Today I got a lot to discuss today. We had a great conference championship weekend. It was winning your end weekend for a bunch of teams. Like Alabama was able to get it done against Florida. Michigan State and Iowa, probably what you can describe as a wild card game to get into the playoff. It was a great game that went all the way down to the wire. I did say the difference of that game was going to be whichever team was going to stop the run the best. Iowa could not stop the run on that last drive, killing off 9.5 minutes on 22 plays on that drive. Just craziness. And North Carolina gets robbed against Clemson on that onside kick. Who was offsides is what I asked myself. And after looking at the picture, it looked like the football was offsides, but I don't think he was a player on any team. I just think he was just the football that people were trying to battle for on the onside kick. I don't know. This is the second time we're talking about how the ACC referees have screwed up. Maybe they'll even screw somebody in a bowl game. Who knows? Anyway, the Heisman finalists are going to be announced because this is being recorded about 3:30 Central Time. So it'll be announced in about 90 minutes as this is being recorded. But you're probably going to see this like a day later, a couple of days later. But I'm going to predict Derrick Henry, the running back from Alabama, to win this Heisman Trophy. And why, you ask? Because he broke Herschel Walker's single-season record for most rushing yards in a season. He's only 25 yards short of 2,000 on the season. And he's doing this in the SEC Conference. But sure, I respect Christian McCaffrey of Stanford, but I just think Derrick Henry's been doing this season a little bit better because he's doing it in the most competitive conference in college football. This is the gridiron of college football. The Pac-12 is an okay conference, but it wasn't competitive this year as it used to be. So I think that the top two is going to be Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey in the Heisman race. I think Derrick Henry will win, but maybe Christian McCaffrey will probably get a little bit close. Yeah, so we also had a bunch of new coaches in new places. Like Georgia signed Kirby Smart. Will Muschamp is reportedly going to South Carolina. And Bronco Mendenhall, the coach for BYU, is taking the Virginia job. It's just the coaching carousel is what it is. So the 4 teams for the playoff this year will be Clemson taking on Oklahoma in one semifinal, and then Alabama, Michigan State. But there's one problem, just one problem with this playoff system. There's not enough teams! Expand it to 8 or 16. Just do what basketball does and do 64. Just start the round of 64 the first week of December. Just don't even have a conference championship game. Okay, why you ask would be a 64-team playoff. I know some of you are saying, but Johnny, why would we have 64 teams when there could be a 7-5 team winning the national championship? Who cares? Who cares? It's football. Anybody can win. That way you can give a group of 5 team to match up against a Clemson or a Stanford or a Notre Dame or an Ohio State or an Oklahoma or an Alabama. Like Houston, for example. Houston's going to play Florida State in one of the New Year's 6 games. But Houston could compete with Clemson probably. They have the offense to compete with Clemson. I would actually want to see Alabama play Houston to see how good Houston really is. Give them the chance to prove it. Expand it to 64 teams next year. Just tweet this video out to the NCAA. Just constantly tweet this. Just mention the NCAA in a tweet of this video. Just do it. Let's just do it like basketball does to make college sports more fun. Anyway, rant is over. Although we do have interesting bowl games, though. I know you get paid for, the university get paid for having these bowl games, but if you have them in a tournament, their fans would just pay to see it. Here's what we would do. Just for example, the round of 64, just do the first round on the first Saturday of December, which would have been last weekend if they actually did this. Then the next week, just do the second round. And then the next week, do the round of 16. And then do the round of 16 on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then do the round of 8 on New Year's Eve, and then have the final 4 at Cowboy Stadium, because Cowboy Stadium is probably the place to play football. It's where everybody wants to play. People keep saying it's the best stadium in America. Do the Final 4 and the National Championship game in Cowboy Stadium because people want to play there. People keep saying it's the best. Because Jerry Jones just spent a lot of money to have that stadium renovated. He spent a bunch of money to have that stadium, guys. I've usually never acted like this in videos, so I don't know what to do now. Although the bowl games are great this year, I'll probably make a video of it probably next week, because I don't want to just make this like a 1-hour video predicting all the bowl games. But we got good ones this year. Like, for example, the Alamo Bowl TCU and Oregon. Oregon is probably one of the hottest teams in college football right now that nobody wants to play. And like Michigan, Florida, the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl. Even some Group of 5 matchups are like interesting. Like, for example, the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl, BYU versus Utah. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. It means a lot. I don't really have a viewers challenge this week because viewers challenges are kind of just eat up the video. So I'm just going to sign off. Have a fantastic day, everybody.